It's like we've always known, been set in stone, unbreakable. It's like I've always dreamed, true harmony, unmistakable, unmistakable.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the House of H.E.R.
I'm Holly.
And I'm Molly, and today we're going to be discussing victim shaming.
And enabling. I'm going to do a little trigger warning just before we get into the episode. So in this episode, we're going to be speaking about themes of trauma, mental health and abuse. And if these topics feel too raw right now, it's okay to pause, step away and come back when you feel ready. Oh, I'm looking forward to this episode.
I've had a day.
It's been a
Okay,
day.
I'll come on today, guys.
It's been one of those weeks.
Yeah.
So, victim shaming and enabling. I feel like this
It's huge, like...
huge. I mean, I could be here. How long you got?
Yeah.
On this one?
This is, I think, sometimes the worst bit.
Yeah.
For me, this was the worst bit, because when there's victim shaming going on and people around you are not understanding, by the time that I got to people knowing what was happening to me, I had already made peace with the fact that my ex-boyfriend was enemy number one. But it's then when the people around you that you need the most, you're going through absolute hell, as I always bloody say, but you are. You're in like the worst time of your life, awful things are happening to you. It's like you're drowning. Yeah. And you're calling out for help. When this happened to me, I said to my mum, at one point I was at home with her, and I said, I feel like he's chasing me with a knife and I'm screaming at you all for help, and you're saying, he's fine, he's not going to hurt you.
And I think that is, I think what as well on this episode we really want to get across is especially how exactly like what you just said, you know, I'm someone who's had the violence, but still for me, and not saying that the violence doesn't matter, because it absolutely does. So if you, I mean, generally, if you probably had the violence, you probably had the psychological as well.
I think they go hand
in hand. But for me, it is like that silent abuse. And when someone, if someone was running after you, hitting you, and you've got physical bruises, it's a lot easier. I mean, I say that.
Yeah.
You'd like to think that people would do the right thing, but they don't. But it's so true. It's that silent abuse, which is why it's so important. And they
abuse you through the people around you.
Yeah. Because then the other people make it okay. I think this episode will be really good, not just for people that know they're enablers, people that are sitting there, but also if you are friends of someone or a family member, and maybe you haven't done the right thing, and maybe this can bring some awareness
help
you because I know I've got friends and family, like I've said in a previous episode, my sister, like she didn't victim shame on purpose, but unless you've been through it, you don't really understand what those comments
do to a person,
do to people. I wouldn't sit here and say that I probably wouldn't say them things, because had not gone through it, it's so easy for you to say the things like, well, why you went back?
Yeah.
Why'd you stay? Well, oh my God, well, you do know how to pick them. And all of these little things make you sit there and think, oh, fucking hell, it's my fault. I should have seen the red flags. I should have done this. I should have done that.
And I think that is a society issue as well, but it was the same with me. Like, my mum obviously never ever wants any harm to come to me and will do anything for me, but she also unintentionally victim shamed me a lot. I really thought my ex-boyfriend was going to kill me, and I was really in extreme fear of my life, and my mum just kept saying, no, he's not. It's like,
but he is. I feel like he is.
Yeah, I feel like he is. So whether or not he is, I'm still living every day with the thought that he's on his way around. And I think to what you said about this is going to be good for people that might know someone, or in time to come might know someone who's being abused, and this will give them the tools to handle that better.
Or for the ones that just know they're enablers, I hope it makes you squirm.
Yeah.
I hope you're sitting there watching this feeling embarrassed.
Ashamed of yourselves.
Is what I hope.
But yeah, like 1 in 4 women will be victims I think that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, 1 in 4 people will be a victim of domestic
So
abuse.
even if you don't know someone right now, the chances, if you know more than 4 people, chances are you are going to be
Well, it's
in
like everywhere, in most friendship groups
Yeah.
have 4 people in a friendship
Yeah.
group. So every single, that's as a minimum. And I know, I mean, we've been blown away by the amount of
Yeah.
people, we say this on every episode, that are going through it. But I think this can
Well,
shed some light on
Yeah.
what it does when you stand
silent.
silent, because you thinking that
I don't wanna get involved.
I don't want to get involved. You are actually very much involved,
Yeah.
and what you are actually doing is feeding into the abuser and making their actions okay, and they are looking to you
Apathy.
for that. You are giving them the power. And you know, I think we done a little reel on Instagram the other day, you know, you inviting them to the family barbecues, you inviting them out with your friends, you commenting, you know. And I've had all of this, and I know you have as well. You've had it a little bit more family. Mine's probably been more so like friendship groups.
So my
But-
ex-boyfriend didn't have any friends, so should have sold me, shouldn't it, really?
Oh well, that was
Yeah.
a sign. But you ignore them. But I think,
I covered this in therapy.
yeah,
So it's called apathy. I've got a screenshot. So as a culture, we have a lot of toxic. This is a really big issue, and this is where so much of my pain when I tried to leave my relationship came in, and what made it, like, without this, I was obviously suicidal. And as much as it was terrible what was happening to me, the victim shaming around it and the apathy I experienced from people around me was the thing that made me feel suicidal.
Yeah.
That not being heard and
Oh my
not
God,
being
it's-
understood,
you are basically.
it's the worst part.
It's the worst part.
This is one of the very first things I covered in therapy when this was all happening, because when everything happened that happened, obviously my dad and my stepmom were very understanding. My stepmom is clued up on narcissism. She gave me a book on narcissism when I was 16.
She will be coming on at some point.
I wish I had read the book at 16. But she's super clued up on narcissism, and so they gave me the response I needed. If she hadn't given me the response I needed when it was happening, I would have never understood what was happening. I probably would never have gotten away. And if
No, because you'd have listened to everyone else
Yeah.
around that this is normal.
yeah,
and it's you.
okay. One person said to me, "He just loves you so much. That's why he's doing it, because he loves you so much."
Yeah. Oh, they don't know how to handle their
Yeah,
emotions.
yeah. Like, me and my mum really, really clashed so much when this was happening to me. I didn't go home for a few weeks, and she'd call me and she was trying to help, but it would literally be terrible. Like, it was like I was screaming for help, and no one understood it. No one knew, like, no one could get what I was saying. It was as if I was talking a foreign language, and that was what made my suffering 1,000 times worse, because I could tolerate. I knew what he was doing was wrong, but then to have
Feeling like you're going mad.
Yes, if I had had the response, if everyone around me, as soon as I said to them, "This is what happened," straight away was like, "That's terrible, you should not tolerate that. Are you okay? What can we do to help? You need to call the police. This is really serious." The situation would have impacted me probably 80% less than it did.
Yeah.
Like, obviously what was happening was so bad, but that is just more abuse. They're just abusing you through the people around you.
Yeah.
This is one of the first things I covered in therapy, and she explained to me about toxic positivity and apathy. Basically, our culture in society is rampant with toxic positivity. So toxic positivity, it's like if you lose a family member, or you're going through something hard and you tell people about it, I feel like there's such a undertone of like, "But it will be okay," like, "Oh, you'll get through it,
Yeah.
you'll be fine." Me and my mum have really clashed with this just in life anyway. If I go to her with an issue, she wants to minimise the issue because she wants to help.
Yeah.
But what she actually does
Is invalidate.
is invalidate my experience, and actually we as a society invalidate people. I literally see it everywhere I go, toxic positivity. If you actually pay attention to the amount of times you tell someone that you're upset about something or something's bothering you, people are so uncomfortable with other
Yeah.
people telling their issues to you. That people don't know what to say. So often people are so like, because we're not supposed to share, we're not supposed to air our dirty laundry. Everyone's supposed to be polite and cordial, and you just sort of brush things under the rug. We're not very direct as a society, I would say. And yeah, when you actually tell people I've told so many people now what's happened to me at work, all sorts. And so often people are like, they don't know what to say, or they're like, oh, well, they try and find other, oh, I'm sure he won't kill you. Like when I'm fearing for my life, there's so many people like, oh, he probably won't. And I'm like, oh, all right then.
Oh,
well,
okay.
probably.
Oh, well, that makes
You've
me
never
feel
met
better.
him, you've heard 2 minutes of the story. But if you say so, then wow, I feel better. But it's because, and this is what me and Angela discussed, it's because it makes them uncomfortable and they don't realise that unintentionally they don't really want to hear it. So they
just finish the conversation.
yeah,
Oh,
people
you'll
just
be okay.
yeah, people don't want to get into it because it's messy and they're uncomfortable, and that's what we like as a society. And then apathy, I've screenshotted. I think there's so much apathy in the world, and I think it's causing so many problems. I think because we have
I don't actually know what apathy means.
Oh, I'll tell you. I think because we have social media and the news and we've got so much, we are literally pumped with negativity all the time. We are so overexposed to bad news, wars, violence, death, that we're just numb
Nothing
to it.
shocks us anymore.
No, and people would, like, you hear someone's going through this or that's happened, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, basically apathy is the opposite of empathy. So it's like indifference.
Oh, so when you've got empathy, so I suppose apathy is not...
No compassion.
No compassion.
Yeah, lack of ability to feel compassion for someone or something. So empathy is the ability to identify, relate and feel compassion for another person, particularly a person who is suffering or hurting somehow. People go where they're comfortable at the end of the day. If you're in a friend group or whatever the dynamic is and the whole group is used to things being one way and then one person comes in and says, that person's bad, people are like, oh no.
Yeah.
Discomfort,
and it's
change.
almost that thing of like one of the biggest things that I feel like you get pushed with when you do come out and tell your story is what? Oh my God, he wasn't like that with me.
Yeah.
I've never seen you be like that before.
What did you do to him?
Yeah. Oh, it's just a toxic relationship. You're both as bad as each other. Yeah, just that thing of, oh my God, but he was so nice. Oh my God, whenever we was out drinking, he was the life and soul of the party. I
had that.
Oh my God, what? And it's like, yeah. That's what makes him the person that he is, because he wouldn't. That is how you know someone can control who they are. Because in a work environment, when you're out with your mates, because if one of his friends spoke up, would he go and hack their whole business?
No.
If one of his friends spoke up, would he just turn around and get their hands and break their fingers? No. Would he do that to his boss if he got? No, he wouldn't. Would he do that to? They know exactly what they're doing, and they do it in environments where they feel like they can. And they've manipulated, gaslit you, broke you down enough, because they wouldn't go out and do that to their friends.
But they need, narcissists and abusers need a web of people. They build the web. They need a web of people that think they're amazing and that they have trust, and because so that when they do go and abuse people,
of course.
that is all part of the gameplay.
And I've found this so much, like in one respect with Squirrel's family, I feel like in a way I not feel sorry, but I look at them and I think like his mum and people like that, they are still so manipulated in that it's almost like, not that I'm not angry, because I am, but I feel like I've seen it with my own eyes. They are so manipulated. Even his friends, to be fair, everyone around them, these people manipulate and they show certain side, but they're stuck in that. What we have managed to escape, and it is easier for them to keep going in that cycle than it is for them to face up to what is going on, because for his mum and people like that, it probably would take a lot of reflection on them if they stood up to it,
Well, this is another thing we've covered in therapy, and that's just really got me thinking as well. People in general follow the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, they really do. And it's the same with if you actually look back through history, World War II, Hitler, how many Nazis killed millions of Jewish people, children? Now, they were probably normal members of society before that, but they follow the crowd. They get indoctrinated and led, and people just go where the majority is.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a term that Angela uses for it, I can't remember what it is, but it's basically that's where the apathy is. Everyone follows the crowd and goes with what
It's
most
just
people
too
are
much
saying.
hard work, isn't it? It's too much hard work for the family.
Friends.
And to be fair, I felt like with his family, there were certain people that pushed me to keep going in that relationship, because if I didn't, he'd be ringing them. He'd be
Yeah.
driving them mad, and then
Yeah.
they've got to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
And they've got to deal with it. And with the friendship groups, everyone is so entwined that it's exactly that. It is so much easier to keep going in that friendship circle, because it's not just walking away from him. They're so interconnected, all the friends, that if one of them pulls away, how many other friends are
Yeah.
they going to lose? It's the nights out, it's the kids, it's all of this. And
There's a point she says, Angela calls it, I don't know what she calls the term, but it's basically everyone stays on this side because it's comfortable and it's where the group is. There is a point where it changes and it's now uncomfortable to be on this. They go wherever it's most comfortable. It's like when
Yeah.
they didn't let gay people get married or people were homophobic. Everyone stayed homophobic until enough people started to say homophobia is wrong, and then everyone rushes over, oh yeah, homophobia is wrong.
yeah.
And that's mind-blowing.
it is just easier for people, isn't it, to just go with the crowd.
But that actually breaks my heart.
Yeah.
That is so against who I am as a person. Even since I was at school, I think that is a neurodiverse thing, that I've got a big injustice button. Like if someone in school is being bullied, I was their friend for the day. Like I've been in friend groups before and they've all picked on a girl and I've ditched them all and gone with the girl.
That's what makes, it's, you can't be wrong as John, but unfortunately we do live in a culture, and I think so many people, and actually we've had messages, and I've had messages of people of like, my cousin's done this, my uncle's done this, or this, my nephew's done this, and this person's done this, and I'm supporting the girlfriend and the children, or the wife and the children. And it's so nice to hear them things, because I think we've just been conditioned that
no one's going to do it.
No one actually ever stands up and does the right thing. And what I've heard so much, which I can't fucking bear, and this was said to me, was when it all like come out, there were friends that were saying, oh yeah, no, like listen, I wouldn't want it to be my sister or my mum. And we had this conversation the other day, didn't we? And I was like, at what point are you going to understand that if you carry on with that attitude, one day it could be your daughter, your sister, your mum, your aunt, your cousin, and the reason it will happen is because that guy who turns out to abuse someone and you care enough about to stop has got a group of friends or a family member sitting there saying, well, I wouldn't want it to be mine, but on this occasion I've known them for 15 years, so we'll just let it slide. And that is why it keeps happening. And you'll sit back one day and think, I hope to God not, but this is where it gets to, is you will then sit back and understand why, just because it's not your problem right now and not someone in your immediate family, it is not okay to sit there and say, well, I wouldn't want it to be someone in my family, but he's my friend of 15 years. Oh, okay. Well, let's see if you have that same attitude when it's someone who could be a bit closer to you.
When you've got a daughter and you're growing up in this world.
Yeah, because this is the world we live in. And unfortunately, you either support that kind of behaviour or you don't. And there is so many people that I know that don't tolerate that, who would not stand for that. So as far as I'm concerned, if you are someone who sits on the fence, stays silent, still hangs around them people, you don't see abuse against women as a bad enough problem.
And that's why we have a national emergency. You are part of the problem, 1,000. You
oh
are
my God.
responsible, yeah.
And the amount of people...
You don't need to be the one hitting someone, but if you are not making a change and speaking up, it's not just about that one victim. You are part of a society and a culture and a huge issue where there's an actual national emergency in this country, violence against women, and a woman's being killed every 3 days. That what Holly just said is the number one factor, contributor and reason as to why we're here. So everyone likes to say, oh, it's because of this or that political thing or immigration or whatever. That is the biggest cause, and if you are not doing something about it and speaking up, you are part of the problem.
And do you know what it is as well, and this is like the thing that makes me die, is it will be these same people that enable, that stand by, that still invite them out, that stand there and support them, but say, oh, well, I've been friends with them for X amount of years. I nearly killed myself Yeah, and I know you did too. I genuinely, hand on my heart, did not want to be here anymore.
Same.
And it will be them same people
Bring
that would
flowers to you.
stand at my grave
With
and
flowers.
say, I wish I'd done more to protect her.
I don't even think they would have enough self-awareness to be that self-reflective or honest with themselves to say, I wish I did more. I think they would say, I wish she told us more. And that's what I wanted to say. That's just come back to me. What I was talking about, the pendulum swing, there was a lot of people showing you victim shaming and apathy when it was going on with you. And as soon as your episode came out, they all started coming out the woodworks. Oh, I didn't know it was that bad. Oh, I wish you told me more. Oh, because the pendulum swung and all of a sudden it wasn't cool to be on that side anymore. It wasn't comfortable. And they've all come rushing over here because it's fun. Holly's on a podcast. Everyone's supporting Holly. Holly's doing really well. Oh, quick, let's run over and get on this side now because this is where it's more fun and comfortable.
Yeah.
Transparent.
You would not believe, and I feel like it's such a big part of my story, the victim shaming, more so enabling, I think, for me, rather than, I suppose a little bit,
Both times 1,000.
Times 1,000.
Times 1,000.
That I have literally, and honestly, like, the wildness of it just beggars belief. But I had people...
The audacity.
I've had people in his family that knew things and
knew more than anyone.
You know, and one thing that I think I've struggled with is the term, I didn't know everything.
Same.
Now, for me, I don't care whether you know a man hits a woman once or you know a man hits a woman 10 times. If you know he was violent and you know that he's done it before and you see it,
you knew enough.
You knew enough to stand up. I have been in situations where I have seen, you know, a lot of information going around about me, and when this all of a sudden came out, there was people in his family who knew what was going on. When you're weak in that situation, I went to members of his family for help, told them what was going on, and through that time they were exactly what I needed them to be. They were supportive. They did say the right things. And, you know, I have messages saying, he's lucky you don't call the police on him. You need to get away from him. Done all the supporting when I needed them to. And at that time, like I said, I think when I was talking about my story...
I don't know if I agree with that. I think they might have been what you needed them to be at the time when you needed them to allow you to stay in the relationship.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to go into, but not afterward.
But I think if they were what you needed them to be at the time, to know that there is a man in your family abusing his girlfriend, they didn't stop it. And okay, they can send you some nice texts, but he could have killed you.
Oh, absolutely. And I think there is one member of his family, I'm not going to name who's who because I'm just not.
Yet. I will.
But there is a member of his family who done more than what anyone else did. But yeah, you're right. You know, looking back, not enough was done.
And can I say one other thing? That was very conditional. And that is what narcissism, I'm not saying they are, but I'm just saying, same with narcissistic love. They're nice to you when you're doing as you're told. Oh, they're being supportive to you then.
Oh yeah, and this is
because
where
you were behaving.
This is where it gets to.
Yeah.
So when
you weren't causing them any grief.
When it's all going on and they knew and people did know, they were supportive. And you know, they told me, and I used to speak to them all the time because I didn't want to go to my family. I was too weak at this point to leave the relationship, and stayed friendly with them throughout. And then once we split, we actually shared the voice note, didn't we?
There was so much worse than that.
I mean, so much worse. Honestly, you would be horrified, absolutely horrified.
It would be like the worst thing you've ever heard. It actually makes me sick.
Yeah, and actually,
at the time,
I didn't. I
did. I remember at the time I was in Malaysia on holiday, and you sent it to me, and you were so still in a trauma bond, the strongest trauma bond of all trauma bonds. Oh, it was awful. I remember hearing it and I felt like my ears were bleeding. I just wanted to scream that someone would ever say something like that to you
It's
ever.
crazy, but at that point, like you said, I was still so in the trauma bond that I didn't really see it.
Yeah.
And I only listened back to this actually.
I found it, didn't I, the other day?
And Molly sent it to me and she said, do you remember this? And I listened to it and I think...
How dare you?
Oh my God, like...
How you could ever say that.
For me, as a person who can send these voice notes to me, and the voice notes actually what they said, one of them is on our Instagram. There is another one basically that says, I don't condone the violence, but you have your own issues too.
You're not perfect.
He needs to find someone who just loves him correctly. That is what I got from someone who knew I had not only been mentally abused, emotionally abused, but physically abused. Someone who had seen with their own eyes bruises, broken bones, constant emotional torture.
She said, well, you're not perfect either.
Yeah, this is what I got.
I'm
from
glad
the very...
you're getting help.
Oh, I'm glad you're getting help.
No, the worst part, this keeps me up at night. This has been keeping me up at night for 10 months. This voice note replays in my head, and if I wasn't such a lovely person, it would... No one mess with
We'd play it right now.
If I did lose my mind at any point, though, and they're very high on the list. No, I'm joking. That was a joke, but no, it wasn't. But the thing that really was like so audacious, and I just can't even fathom, was the fact the person said you know, when you have conversations with them and you say, maybe if we bump into each other in the future, you can't do that, Holly. It's not fair. You're giving him false hope. As if you were out of order and you should be sorry.
Yeah, and do you know what? And that's another thing.
You're leading him on. Like, how dare you?
And that's another thing.
I'm just going to just say again, sorry, I've got to keep going. Leading him on. She's probably scared for her life. She's probably saying that to get him to leave her alone.
And this was the thing.
And she knew he was harassing you so badly.
He would not leave me alone at this point, crying, begging. So the only way, and do you know how bad it was, right? I remember when I got diagnosed with the vertigo and I went to hospital, he was ringing me. Bearing in mind we wasn't together at this point, but he would not leave me alone, and he was accusing me of being with someone else. I have got pictures of me having to send him pictures of me alone in a hospital while my head is spinning because he's accusing me of being with someone else while I'm being seen for my vertigo. He would not get off the phone, because if he got off the phone, he would ring, and he caused me so much anxiety. I am on the phone throwing up because my head, if you've ever had vertigo, and you'll know that head spinning feeling and how it makes you throw up, I was still having to prove. He was harassing me so bad. He would say to me, do you think in a few months' time that we could see each other? And I'm like, I don't know, like maybe in a few months' time, let's see how things go. If you've ever been in this situation, you will understand at that point, when you are so deep in it, you will do anything. If I said to him, do you know what? No, I'm never going to speak to you again. I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet someone else. He would have, if I did not answer the phone, he would send me messages. I used to ignore, and then he would send me messages. And this is why I never blocked him, because I was so scared that the minute he would see that his number's blocked, he's going to turn up. Because if I didn't answer the phone, he would leave it a certain amount of time and he would say, you're going to make me do something stupid and I'm going to turn up at your house. And this is someone who had tortured me basically for a year. I'm in fear for my life. To sit there and then say to me, well, basically it's your fault because you're leading him on. No, I'm not leading him on. I'm trying to survive and get out of this situation as best as I possibly can.
Anything you do in that position is not on you. You're not responsible for at all. Statistically, if you had have said that to him, you hadn't have given him false hope, I would be so interested to know how much more likely you would have been to be killed by him.
They say the most dangerous time for a woman is when she leaves the relationship. And everyone can sit there and say, he would never have done that to you. Do you know the amount of conversations I had to have with this man? It actually makes me feel ill. Where I've had to have the conversation of, you are going to kill me one day. Do you know what that is like, to have that conversation with someone you are in a relationship with, to genuinely fear that one day he's going to push you so hard that you're going to fall down the stairs, or he's going to knock you, or he's going to throw you out of a car, or he's going to throw hot water over you and burn your skin, like, to then
have to reason with
someone of why you're acting the way you're acting, and then have someone say to you, because you've got ADHD or because your life's a bit chaotic, that you've got issues too. I don't condone the violence, but like, I couldn't have got more victim shaming and enabling.
That's abuse in itself. That's gaslighting.
For me, they need to be put away
As well.
As
So do I.
well.
Throw
Like,
away the
I
key.
genuinely believe people that are
You are responsible as well. If you had gone and taken your own life, which you nearly
I
did,
was very close
they
to.
have got blood on their hands. You
Yeah.
all sit there quietly. You have all got blood on your hands.
And the fact is
they are
that,
lucky.
And the fact is now, these people are still writing Facebook statuses about me, because I've been sent them, writing about, I am talking because I don't want anyone else to have him. First of all, yeah, you're too fucking right, I don't want anyone else to go near him, because they will end up dead. Also, because of people like you that are walking around, writing these statuses, making it okay.
How can you know that someone's gone through what you've gone through and then make it? How can you see someone in that much pain and misery and make it worse for them?
I've got people in his family texting people saying I'm a woman scorned. All of these people, to some degree, I've had family members had to come in my house and do my door where he'd punched holes in my bedroom door. His family members have seen me on Christmas Day when he's thrown me out my car, thrown all my children's presents out the car to leave me on my own, and I'm chasing after him on Christmas Day because he's going to leave me on my own, and they have seen him smash things out of a car. I have had people had to come to my house and rescue me when he's beat me up.
In his family.
And these people are still the ones sitting there saying, I am doing this because I am bitter and I don't want him to be with anyone else.
And they're the ones trying to get him in contact with other women, the next victim.
Yeah.
They're trying to enable that as well. And what I would just like to say, quite frankly, because I am on my period, and I'm going to say it how it is. I'm not sugarcoating anymore. Do you know what I think for people like this, like Squirrel? People like Squirrel. Do you know what I think? We just bring back capital punishment. I would vote all day long. Do you know what capital punishment is? Electric chair.
Electric chair.
They're using our resources in prison. If you can do that to someone who loves you, it's not even... very sick.
That was another thing.
Capital punishment. I vote.
I vote.
I think we'll start a petition. Purely for Squirrel.
Another thing that I got told was he just hasn't found someone who loves him correctly. And the next bit of the voice note
that was what he used to say to you
don't
too.
go. The friendship group are sick and tired of hearing it. It's not fair for you to go and talk to your friends about it.
It's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. So this just needs to be brushed under the carpet in 2025. Well, that didn't go to plan.
Welcome to the carpet, hun. You got the starring role, babe. And I will never forget.
The carpet, welcome to the
welcome
carpet.
to the carpet. Live action movie, brushed under the carpet, starring yourself.
This is what we should have called this episode.
When I can share names, I would like to very much.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm actually getting the message up because we need
to read out the message.
I'm just getting that part of it because we actually need to, this should be studied, this level of insanity.
Because this part right here sent me, and this is what I wanted to get to. When I was in the relationship, I spoke to friends myself and everyone was like, don't go back, stay away, making it out like it was a toxic relationship.
Tit for tat, I had that.
Yeah. Turning a blind eye to it so people knew what was going on.
What did you do to make him do that? What did you do to him?
Or it was like...
2 sides to every story.
People knew what he had done. I even had conversations with people that knew what he had done. When he gets into his next relationship, we're just not going to meet the girl. And I thought...
That's disgusting.
So I'm half lucky.
That is again such vile, disgraceful, horrific, sickening victim shaming.
We know what's gone on with you, but if it happens again to the next girl, basically we just don't want to get to know her because we don't want to know what's going on.
We can't be bothered, yeah, no. Just let him abuse her quietly. As long as we can have a pint with him down the pub.
And this was it for me. It was like 2 months later after all of this come out, or a couple of weeks after this all come out, they're all out celebrating his birthday.
I just think we get a volcano. Just throw them all in.
Volcano's erupting.
The world would be a better
Get the
place.
message out.
Right, let's dissect, shall we? Sorry, I'm just saying, just be careful, just to keep used to yourself. Not to hide it or anything like that. That's exactly what you're saying. But you know, it's just not fair. If you go and speak to all your mates about it and all that, it's just not fair because I think it's just between yous two now. And I don't want to split up the friend group and all that. it's not worth getting everyone involved, really, because people only take sides and people don't want to hear the shit, to be fair. I mean, I spoke to a few of his mates, and as they say, like, they don't want to hear it all either. So anyway, love you. No
I know, that's the
harm
most
done.
contradicting bit.
No harm done between me and you. Very wrong you are. Just try and move on. Try and sort yourself out. Hopefully this will all be swept under the carpet.
Hey!
Yeah, welcome to the carpet. I'm gonna
Welcome to the House of
I
Hair.
have just started. This is nothing. You've seen nothing yet. We're not going anywhere. I mean, you know, you've been with your past relationships and moved on. He's been with his and moved on. I've been in relationships and moved on. So, you know, it can happen. Just something that's got to be swept under the carpet by the end of 2025 anyway. Love you loads.
Bye.
Bye, hon.
And
Kisses.
all jokes aside, like, this is why I think this episode
So important.
is so important, because
This needs to stop.
The abuse is bad, right? The abuse is bad, but I do believe wholeheartedly, if more people stood up, if more people pulled away out of friendship groups. And do you know what I got when he is in where he's in? I got people saying to me, well, you know, they are holding him accountable. He is being accountable. No, I tell you what's happened is I took the steps to stand up for myself because no one else held him accountable.
How they ever spoke about
Everyone
having
went out
another
drinking
girlfriend?
with him. Everyone continued to laugh, go out, know that he's going out sleeping with other girls now, all laughing and joking about it, getting involved, giving him all the power that they need to survive. All of you are doing this, and this is where the problem is. Yes, the abuser is at fault, but if you held them accountable and you stopped being their friends, you got them help, you said to them, you know, I've got friends, and if my friend was doing this, yes, I can understand that if you are part of a friendship group, it must be hard, but I can tell you something now. If my friend abused people and laid their hands on people, I would like to think 100% they would not be my friend, but I can tell you something categorically I would be doing, and that is saying to them, you need to go and get help, and until you get help, we are not going out drinking, we are not going out and doing this. You need to change. You are a danger. Because no one does this, these men
Continue.
It may not be someone that's directly in your family right now, but because of your behaviour and your victim shaming and your enabling, one day it could be. And this is the problem. And this is where, and for me, you are all as guilty as what he is, because if you support someone who does that,
you're allowing
it doesn't matter what part of a body someone abuses you with, it's abuse. And it doesn't matter whether it's physical or mental, it's abuse. And if you are standing with someone, if you are in their friendship group or in their family, and you are not telling them and removing yourself from those kind of people, then you are saying that's okay.
If we don't stand up and stop people, then they are going to continue doing it, and that's exactly what people are doing. And my favourite quote of all time has been my favourite quote since I was a child, which actually turns out it's our therapist's favourite quote as well.
Oh, wow.
And it's, the world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who stand by and watch. That's my favourite quote ever. That's like one of the first pictures on my Instagram from like 2016.
I love that. That is so true.
It is.
Because it's just as bad. Like, and that's what people don't get, is all of these, it's just as
You're
bad.
the ones
and these
destroying
people
the
who are
world.
continuing because of you
You're letting
and
them.
what you support.
Because of you. And also, like on that point as well of the victim shaming, say you're enabling an abuser. If the abuser goes on and doesn't kill the victim, okay, you haven't physically killed them. But if they go on and kill themselves, which 30 women a day in this country attempt suicide as a result of domestic abuse, both of us would not have been suicidal if it hadn't been for the victim shaming and the apathy around it and the enabling. So actually, that's really scary. 30 women a day, and I'm quite confident that if they had the support that they needed and they didn't have the enablers, and well, if we didn't have enablers and victim shamers, the abuse wouldn't be happening in the first place. But that, I think, is the thing that drives women back to the relationships, blame themselves, and tips them over the edge to where they take their own life, which 3 women every week in this country take their own life as a result of domestic abuse.
And they were saying, I think we got a stat up earlier, and it was 60% of women who die had told people and spoke up.
Had been killed by a man. 60% of women been killed by a man.
Who'd been killed by a man had originally spoke up but not been believed and heard, and went on to either kill themselves or be killed by their partner.
So that is apathy again, victim shaming and enabling is responsible for 60% of those deaths. Because again, if you'd got up and said something and you'd made a stand, it just shouldn't be acceptable in our culture,
And I
and
think,
it is.
you know, victim shaming, like Molly said, we are in a world, unfortunately, where it does happen. And I hope this can raise some awareness on, you know, the way you handle friendships, people in your family that are in abusive relationships, because I know sometimes things can be said without meaning harm, which is why we're doing what we're doing, because we want you to understand the harm that it does do. Because
And I think we need to come down hard on it.
Yeah.
I think we do, because people are dying.
and things can't, with victim shaming, I suppose in some degrees things can be, we just hope that this sheds some light
And I
on
think
what it does, but I don't think you can enable someone by accident. I think
No.
you can victim shame,
Yeah, you can, of course,
you know,
yeah.
without knowing and having the knowledge, by
Enable-
asking the right questions, like
But
we've
my
said.
mum enabled by accident, I'd say.
Yeah, and that same with Amber, when she said to me
But,
about
but Amber victim shamed her. My mum enabled by accident.
Yeah.
Because she didn't understand what was going on, she continued to speak to him after I chose not to.
Yeah.
Because she thought she was helping, and he completely. She wasn't having a go at me. She just thought she was being nice and trying to help the situation.
Yeah.
Because she could see how upset I was, but because she wasn't informed enough and didn't understand abuse and
and
narcissism,
say to him, no, this isn't right.
she wouldn't.
Yeah.
He used her as a pawn.
And this is the problem, is because there's no this is where we
This is what
really
why we're
want to
doing what
make
we're
a
doing.
difference.
But another thing, what we really want to do, and this is why this episode is so important, and I want to keep doing these episodes. We need to make everyone's comfortable in the apathy. We need to swing the pendulum so that people understand that's not where you want to be. That's not cool to be there. We need to swing the pendulum so that people come over to here and start saying to people,
No,
this
it's
is wrong.
wrong.
But not, this is one thing I want to go into more detail another time, but one really big thing I'm seeing so much recently online, not victim shaming the next woman who's with the man, and not shaming survivors online. Or I've seen a famous couple from Love Island on TikTok at the moment, all blowing up, and in his comments there's thousands of women abusing her who don't know her. And I have another situation that I'm aware of, where I have a friend who's now in a relationship with someone who's an alleged abuser, and she's had her entire life destroyed online.
Yeah, and we said this, you know, the thing is, I've always said, and you've always said, you know, if I found out that he was with someone else.
Well, I have found out, haven't I?
Yeah, and you would want to say to them, naturally, like, I just want you to be aware that this is the situation.
That's something that's...
But if they then go on to be in that situation, it is not their fault, because you know they're being manipulated exactly how you... If someone would have come to us and said it, if someone would have come to me, and I've actually had this conversation with Squirrel's ex-partner, and she said to me, I'm so sorry that I didn't warn you. And my reaction was, if you did, I would never have listened.
Yeah, you were too gone. So this is actually, again, we're still in our healing journeys. This is super raw, but I found out last week or the week before that my ex-boyfriend is in a relationship with the person he was with before me, and I was with him for 2 years. And that really hit home for me, because it made me realise, because I truly did not believe that he had ever loved her from the way he spoke and everything else. It just made me realise, it was so clear to me that he's now using her, because of the way he spoke.
And now talking about you, the way he spoke about her.
And it just made me, it made me sick, and it made me realise, I already knew he was a narcissist, I knew he never loved me, blah, blah. But it confirmed it. It confirmed that this person actually is, there's not one chance, like, he is just using her.
Yeah.
And I know that she has seen the podcast. I don't know if she's listened to my episode, but I know she has seen the podcast.
Yeah.
That's how I found out, because... yeah, through the grapevine. And I'm not sure if she's listened to my episode, I hope she has, but like, a massive reason I went to the police, and this is what's upsetting about my situation and really is traumatic, is I went to the police because I didn't want him to do that to anyone else. I really didn't want him to do it to another girl. I so nearly took my own life. I didn't want that to happen to anyone else. And I feel sick that he's just... feels like he's gotten away with it, and he's going to do it to someone else. And I know it's not my business, but I am so worried. Like, I know the trauma bond she must be in, and this is the thing about that situation that I want to cover. Even if that girl has listened to my episode and has heard my entire story, it is her choice. She gets to choose who she's in a relationship with. I would never wish any bad on her, judge her, shame her. She deserves, every woman has the right to choose who they would, but she can hear my story, and I'm hope that she has.
Yeah.
But even still, even if I called her up and told her, I would never expect anything from her. That is her decision
To then go-
to choose
yeah.
whether she decides to believe the person she loves or listen to me. All I can do
Is give her that
give her the
information.
information. And
Yeah.
I would never, and this is something that's happening to my friend, and I wanted to go into it in more detail another one, but I'll just touch over it. I would never, ever, ever, and I hate this, I would never ever blame another woman, and this is what is making me so sick right now that I'm seeing on social media all the time. I would never blame another woman for the actions of a man. If a man abuses one woman, he abuses them all. I would never terrorise, bully, abuse another woman because she's with my ex-boyfriend or
Yeah.
with an abuser. And a lot of people online are now calling this. There's a real narrative
The
going
thing is,
online.
I think what you end up doing...
They're calling the next woman an abuse enabler, though. I'm seeing hundreds of women in society right now. If a woman comes out and says her ex-boyfriend abused her and he's got a new girlfriend, women, why are you abusing each other? It makes me so upset. We're supposed to come together. I'm seeing women going and attacking the next girlfriend, calling her an abuse enabler. Why are we holding women responsible for men's actions? And also, you have no idea the trauma bond, the abuse, anything that woman's being
And
subject
that's the
to.
thing, in that relationship, I think that's where the difference is from, you know,
This is how
other
uneducated
women,
people are.
other people enabling abuse to someone in a relationship. Is there is such a high trauma bond there
And
that
also-
you won't believe. I heard things about Squirrel in previous relationship, and I didn't believe it, because you hear their story, you're sitting there listening to it, you know, you don't have all the and
you should be allowed to make that decision for yourself, and that's not your fault.
Yeah.
But also on that topic, and why I felt like I had to mention it now, is because we've just spoken about the suicide and everything. I can't imagine being in that relationship and then having hundreds of women online trolling and abusing me on top of the abuse I'm going through in the relationship. If that would kill me, I
Yeah.
would kill myself.
Yeah.
And this is the thing with women sending other women. Just should never, ever, ever send anyone online abuse. If you send someone online abuse, you are an abuser.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing lots of people abuse my friend, call her an abuse enabler. If you send abuse, you're an abuser.
Yeah.
You don't know people's stories. Then that's a whole part of the problem. We judge people without knowing. We make assumptions. All those people, it's comfortable for them to be in that club of abusing her. That's what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you all
yeah.
get your pitchforks out, and it's not right, and it's devastating to be
Yeah.
doing that in the name of abuse as well. To be doing that in the name of
Yeah.
being against abuse
Yes, yeah.
makes me really, really upset.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunately, it is the world we live in.
We just need to educate,
and that's what we want to do so much. But you know, something that came to me as well, and I remember this as a child, and I think, unfortunately, I don't know whether it's like the world we've grown up in, but did you ever get told the statement, when a boy likes you, he's mean to you?
Yeah, all the time. Oh, he fancies you.
Yeah. If a boy's mean to you, it means they like you. Can we stop?
Doing that.
Can we stop telling children that if a boy is mean to you...
That is so true. What, did you just pluck that out? of your
Yeah,
head?
because I've got told that.
So did I.
I got told that if someone was a bit mean as well, it was because they're
I got told
acting,
that
they're playing hard.
Boys would be bullying me, and people are like, oh, he fancies you. And I'm like,
no,
he's
just because they're arseholes.
Yeah, he's terrorising me.
Yeah, like,
And it's
stay
like,
away.
Boys will be boys, boisterous. Even then, apathy, enabling, victim shaming. This boy's being mean to me. Oh, he probably fancies you.
Yeah, no.
He needs
stay
help.
away. If my daughter came home to me now and said...
If your daughter came home to you now and said a boy was being mean to her...
I mean, she'd have already dealt with it.
No, but me, who I'd have dealt with it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I would, yeah. Georgie, I've got Georgie.
Girly pops.
Girly pops.
But
like,
no, I just
I'd
can't-
get deal with him. I'd fight myself.
I can't imagine, it just came to me because I thought, I swear, so many of you have probably heard this, and it
So
needs
true.
to stop, because I feel like this is what we are growing up to believe. subconsciously, consciously, whatever it is. No. If
No.
a boy is mean, they're mean. Stay away. They're arseholes.
Let's just not make that okay in any capacity. If a boy is mean, I don't care why. I don't care even if he does fancy you. He should be, boys will not be boys. Boys will be held accountable for their actions.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to change as well.
Absolutely. Well,
Thanks for
I hope
tuning
we've
in, guys.
kind of given a little bit of light
I think
on...
I've just period angered everyone.
Mo's just let out a week's worth of
Yeah.
emotions. But I think, you know, what we want to do here is just raise awareness. You know, we're not talking from, we've said it before, from a therapist point of view. We are two girls that have been through it, have had to deal with these emotions, and know, because we've been through it, that these are probably the emotions and the shame and the guilt that everyone else deals with, and why we stayed quiet for a long time, why we didn't tell people, because you are embarrassed. You feel like, oh my God, are people going to think that of me? Are people going to have
Which
that
they do
assumption? If
make
one
that
person has
assumption,
that
yeah.
assumption, is everyone going to think that of me? And still to this day, I believed up until not long ago that I had made him that person. I was the one, maybe I was too chaotic, maybe I spoke to him the wrong way, because this is what I've been conditioned by the enablers, by the victim shamers, to believe.
Well, same as what I had. He just loves you so much. That's why
Yeah.
he's done it, because he just... And that is
They
not
don't know how to
love.
handle it. No, it's not.
We should never tell a woman that a man's bad behaviour, I don't care if he's controlling, jealous, that is not love. That is abuse.
It is. And can I just say one thing, adding this in from a mother's perspective, because I just want to make this clear, you know, because maybe you could be someone sitting there with children and thinking, and I say it all the time, I would protect my child. I tell Jensen, no matter what it is, we deal with it together. So in this kind of situation, what I do want to say is, if my son, let's just say my son, God forbid, turned out and he abused women, I'm not saying to you I would leave him
In the street.
in the streets to rot. I would never go and visit him if he was inside. I would not go to court to stand there, because I would. I'm his mother and I would. But what I would be doing, and this is the difference, is I would be saying to him, you deserve to be here. You are in the right place.
You'd be helping the girl.
I would help the girl. I would be ringing the girl and the family and saying, I'm so sorry for what you have been through. I'm his mother. I am going to support him. He needs to get help. Whether I believe that help helps these people, I don't know. I actually don't know.
I don't think so.
I think it gets to a certain point where it is too far gone.
I think it's a personality disorder.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of it is unresolved trauma themselves. But I would be doing everything I could to help my son get that help.
And make sure he never did it to anyone else.
And make sure that he never did it to anyone else. I would not be putting up things about how proud I am of him, making him out to be a doting father, a doting boyfriend. I would not be shaming the girl. I would be saying to her, you have done the right thing and I'm so grateful you have done, and I'm proud of you.
And also you're doing the son a favour as well. Because you're holding him accountable for his actions, you're teaching him that it's wrong, and you're giving him the responsibility to learn a lesson he very much needs to learn.
And that is the difference. And on a friend's point of view, if that was my friend, I would be saying to them, I'm out. Until you get the help you need for what you're doing and deal with these issues, we are not going out drinking. You are not being around my family. You are not being around my children. I will be here to help you get the help. I would not be posting, happy birthday, mate, I'm so proud of you, all over Instagram and having family days out and having them around my children. Absolutely fucking not.
No.
So there is ways to deal with these people. There is ways to hold them accountable, and there is ways to support them.
And support victims as well.
But going out and making it out like they have done nothing wrong
And turning a blind eye.
Staying silent, is not the way to do it.
And can I add on to that? When you're enabling that, like if you were actually in a situation where you were watching your friend abuse a woman, you're living in a house with your friend and he's got a woman locked downstairs and he's going down abusing her, and you're watching it and trying, would you look away? Because that is essentially what you're doing.
What you're doing.
And I wanted to add on to that from a parental perspective, because I'm the child, because me and my mum have had to work through this, how you can help a victim. This is what I think everyone needs to know, how you can help a victim from my opinion. And this is what I do with anyone who's upset about anything ever. Even if a friend loses a relative, I will not say, oh, you'll be okay. Anytime I've got a friend going through something really crap, I won't try and make it better for them. I won't minimise it. I'll turn around to them and go, I'm so sorry you're having to go through this. I can imagine this is really hard. But I also always like to add on, because people don't feel like they can say this is crap and just let it be crap. I always say to people, this is really crap and that's okay. And if you just want to talk to someone, if you just want to call me up, I don't care what time it is, when it is, and just say, everything's really crap. I feel this, that and the other, and everything's awful. Everything's shit. I'm miserable. I always say to anyone who's going through anything, it's okay if it's really shit. And if you want to take the mask off and rant to me and whatever else and just say, this is crap and I hate it, I'm here and that's okay. And what I wanted to say about abuse enabling and things like that, how to help someone who's a victim of abuse, is to validate their experience. This is a problem because people haven't experienced it themselves. They look through their lens and their life experiences. Because they haven't had that experience, they don't understand how you could stay. But you're not having compassion or understanding for other people. You're just in your comfort thingy of you're not thinking enough. If someone comes to you and you might not necessarily understand it, but it's about listening to them, validating their experience. If the person feels like what's happening isn't okay, then validate that. If the person feels like they're going to be killed, you do not tell them, oh, they probably won't. If someone's telling you they're going to be killed, whether they are or not, that person is living with that fear.
Yeah.
So
Make them feel safe.
Yeah, the minute, yes, but the minute you tell them, oh no, you're not, they feel more scared because then they think they have to double down and prove it to you, and it furthers it. I think with me and my mum, what we've had to work out is validate, listen, and a thing that I like, if I had to give a quote or something to say, is, I'm really sorry that's happening to you. I've never been through it myself, but it sounds like it's really difficult. I can imagine that's horrible for you. Are you okay? Is there anything I can do to help?
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to help, you don't want to be involved, you don't want to hear it, just say, that's what you should say.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear it, you don't want to help, you don't want to get involved, then say that. But what you should never ever say is, because as soon as you start saying, oh, it's not that bad, or what did you do, or you start victim shaming, or whatever else that we've both had, then you're making that person, you're pointing the finger at them. And that's not okay. If you don't want to be involved, that's not really cool, obviously, in the victim shaming situation, but do not put it back on the victim and say, oh, well, what did you do to them, or any of that. And I've got one thing I wanted to read out, which I put in my phone ages ago. 10 ways you can help end violence against women.
Oh.
10 ways you can help end violence against women. 1. Listen to and believe survivors.
2. Teach the next generation and learn from them.
3. Call for responses and services fit for purpose.
4. Understand consent.
5. Learn the signs of abuse and how you can help.
6. Start a conversation.
7. Stand against rape culture and misogyny.
8. Fund women's organisations.
9. Hold each other accountable.
10. Know the data and demand more of it. So these are amazing things. We'll put this maybe in the show notes. And if anyone has been affected by anything that we've spoke about in this episode, if this is something that you are struggling with, our DMs are always open. If you want a safe place to talk, we have our Patreon membership where we have a podcast after hours chat, which you can subscribe to. You can have more of a one-to-one intimate safe space for you to be able to really be seen and heard and know you are not alone.
Yeah. Oh, and also in our stand store, we have the Women's Aid Survivors Handbook, and it's got loads of different resources in it, whether you're a friend of a victim, whether you're a victim yourself. It's got every different scenario you could be in. It's got tools and advice, so I definitely recommend checking that out as well.
Absolutely. And we hope you've enjoyed this episode. We hope that it has shed some light. We're just here to raise awareness, and we're just going to keep doing that and speaking from experience.
Nothing's going under this rug anytime soon.
Nothing is going to get brushed under the carpet in 2025.
The carpet's burnt. The carpet's gone.
Yeah.
We're loud and proud.
Loud and proud, honey.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you for listening, guys.
Love you. See you in the next one.